All right, hopping in real quick to let you know about something we're super excited about. If you've known the show for any length of time at all, you'll know that Steven and I are both musicians. We've played together in bands for something like 20 years at this point, and we currently have a duo that's just the two of us, and we just put a new single out. It's available worldwide. I'll let Steven tell you how to find it, what it's called, what it's all about, and then we'll carry on with the episode. Hope you enjoy.
Yeah, the single is called In Memoriam. Our band name is Token Sacrifice. So if you just look us up on your favorite app, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you use, you should be able to quickly find us. We got a single there, and hopefully more to come.
Yeah, exactly. There's a couple of old tracks as well you can find on most of the platforms, but this one specifically deals with like people that we've lost in our life. It's very meaningful to us, and we hope you like it as well. Anyway, until next time, have a great day. Welcome to the Working Man's Weightlifting Show, the show where working men talk about weightlifting. I'm your host, Nick Wiley, and I'm joined this evening by my permanent co-host and, unfortunately, permanent younger brother, Mr. Stephen Wiley. Stephen, how you doing?
Doing pretty well.
I love you. I didn't mean that.
Well, it's been a while.
It has.
How do you feel about that? Should we address it? Should we not? Should we just say? So I feel I don't want to do the thing. You know, it's like I feel like you see this all the time on YouTube. Whatever. It's like people constantly apologizing for why they didn't post last week or whatever. In our case, last year. You know what I mean? Like I don't. You know. But
I mean, hey, things happen.
Briefly, I had a second kid, and that was kind of tough. Just on a workout thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it's tough. It's tough in general, but like staying in the gym was tough. But even before that, just I don't know what to say. I can't even really tell you. Like we had a lot of stops and starts, at least for me, working out, and I was feeling like, how do I talk about this? And now we're ready to talk again. So
yeah, we're back.
There you go, back in action. Do you have anything to say about that?
About the hiatus?
Yeah. Or were you just kind of like in the corner, like, Nick, just get your life together. Come on.
I mean, no, we had some other focus. We put a song out. I think we've had an ad on our episodes actually going about that.
Yep.
So we had some focusing going on with music. You had a kid, and then, well, your wife had a kid.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, we've been super busy, and now here we are in the middle of the holidays season.
Yeah.
So,
well, in case you're new to this show, why don't we give people a quick, like what do we do? Why are we here? What do you do for a living?
I do manual labor.
I'm hitting you sideways, man. You're not prepared for any of these questions.
No, not at all. So I'm a flooring installer and tile setter.
Self-employed.
So, yeah. Self-employed. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I do, all things from showers, floors, backsplashes, whatever you got.
There you go. And you're going to ask me now what I do?
What do you do for a living, Nick?
Hi, I'm Nick, and I'm an IT guy for a living. And I have a business partner. It's two of us. We serve about 50 clients in a certain region of the United States. And we do a lot of that remotely, but we go on site. I'm usually on site maybe twice a week, something like that on average, visiting customers, installing computers, networks, all that kind of fun stuff. But, the premise of our show is that we have different jobs, but we're related. We're brothers. We've been weightlifting for a long time, especially Steven. And so, our thing is like trying to find common ground in between all that, working different kinds of jobs, blue collar versus white collar. I feel like mine's kind of like sky blue collar, like it's like a little in between because I do have to go, turn wrenches and screwdrivers occasionally. But anyway, that's the premise of the show. We hope that might be intriguing to you as the listener. We used to say the tagline was, the podcast for weightlifters that don't want to look like lobsters. And yeah, I think it's still. So I definitely don't like a lobster. I like a lot more like a puffer fish.
I mean, we don't really care what you want to look like.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
We just tell you what we do.
In my case, I especially don't care. Oh, no. Oh, man. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for lending us your ear, as we used to say. Man, it feels good to be back. Slap the knee. Did you hear that? Okay. Yeah, so here's what we want to do today. It's beginning to look a lot like dumbbells. Binge press everywhere. I thought we'd do a nice little holiday gift guide for 2024. This will be completely irrelevant next year. Just kidding. Actually, all these things I'm sure will be available from your favorite retailers. But, so kind of jumping on the bandwagon. Saw a lot of other people buying gift guides in different industries. I'm plugged into the IT world, the music world, all that. People doing this like crazy. And I thought, you know what? That actually could be really helpful for people in our space. And specifically, we're really big fans of the home gym world. We try to be quote unquote inclusive of people who lift in commercial gyms because, not everybody can have a home gym depending on who you are, where you live, where you are in the world. Having a home gym is very much a luxury. And I don't have one, really. I mean, I have like half a room, a little bit, I have a corner, but mostly you work out at your house and you actually have one. So, but, we are big fans of it. If you have the ability to set one up, 10 out of 10 recommend that you do that over going to a commercial gym for a lot of reasons. We've done episodes on that in the past. You can look back in the catalog and hear why we feel pretty passionately about that. Not to say there are some people who really benefit from the commercial environment, especially if you're like a really competitive person, and you get the rush from other people looking at your pecs. You're not going to get that at home. You'll be looking at your own pecs. I do a whole lot of that. Yes, sir. These days, they don't look so much like pecs. They look a little bit more like big Hershey's Kisses.
Oh, God. Oh. Wow.
Oh, man. Okay, well.
I think we have some stuff in this list, though. Even if you work out at a commercial gym, some of this you could honestly have and keep at your house for the days where you can't make it to the gym, or honestly, you can bring it with you. So,
who wants to kick it off? My stuff is earlier on the list, but that doesn't mean we have to do that.
That's fine.
Okay, well, number one, what I wanted to do is one thing to know about me is, I have been, I'm the guy on the show who is just always trying to get back on the horse, but rarely on the horse for that long. At the moment, I'm not really on the horse, but I did make a conscious decision after our second son was born that I was like, okay, until he is like kind of sleeping through the night or at least on more of a schedule, I can't even really plan to get up early enough to come to your house to work out. So what I'm going to do is try to do some kind of circuit at home multiple days a week. And I've been trying really hard to do that. My whole family's been sick for a month, so that was hard to keep up during that time. But generally speaking, I've been okay at doing that. And I thought I would talk about some of the gear that I have in my house to be able to do that workout circuit. Because like you said, even if you typically lift at a commercial gym, this would be great stuff to have on hand anyway. So the first thing for me is a dip stand station. I'm recommending specifically the Titan Fitness dip stand station because that's the one that I have. You actually gave that to me.
Yep.
And so I've had great success with that. We'll have links in the show notes to these items that we recommend. And by the way, we don't have affiliate links. We're not paid to say any of this stuff. We don't have a sponsor on this episode. So this is just our genuine opinions about what we think you should buy, or a better way to say is stuff that's worked well for us, or that we're interested in. So none of that compensation madness going on. Not to say that we wouldn't take people's money. We absolutely would sell out to the first company that came at us. But anyway, Titan Fitness, in general, really good option because they make good stuff that's kind of in the vein of like Rogue Fitness, but it's made overseas for a lot less money. Usually the quality is, not the same, but close enough that you can get a lot of good use out of it yourself. I think the way I like to say it is like, if you have other people that are like, if you're going to own a commercial gym, always worth it to go top tier.
Yeah.
But if it's you, just you, Titan Fitness is a great option because it's built similarly a lot of the time, and we've not had any like failures from any of their equipment. It's just a little more rough around the edges. Maybe the powder coat isn't as nice. Maybe the welding joints are a little rougher or whatever. So anyway, their dip stand station currently sells for $84.99 on their website, and that is basically 2 big fat giant parallel bars. The reason that I like it is because you can do dips, which doesn't work great for me because I had shoulder surgery. But what I do with it is I put them on the floor, sort of like laying them down, and I use them as a push-up station so that it angles you up higher so you can get like a deeper push-up. And then I will flip them back the way they're supposed to be and use them to do inverted rows. So that's like 2 parts of my circuit that I can get with that one apparatus. And because they're lightweight, easy to move around, you can stuff them in a closet, or in my case, I put them in the corner of my home office. Like they're out of the way. They're easy to move if you need to get them out of the way. So dip stand station, number 1. I like it.
Did you name it the station, or is that what they actually
I wrote it that way because that's how it is on their website.
Okay, because it's really not a station. Like, I mean,
I don't know why they say that.
Yeah, because it's really just like 2 separate bars. So
yeah, actually, if you look at the link, it says Equalizer dip bars.
Yeah, that's why I was asking.
But if you look at the name of the product on their website, it actually says Black Dip Stand Station. I thought that was kind of hilariously named.
Well, the Equalizer, I'm pretty sure that's what I have by totally different company.
Oh, weird. Okay.
So I think maybe like Equalizer, maybe they got like a patent on it or something. They got it taken down or something. But that's just interesting.
Yeah.
So just side note, you can find those same kind of bars at a lot of different companies, and they kind of come from like the calisthenic world.
Okay.
So people do like, levers, planche, whatever. If you know anything about like the more advanced calisthenic movements, that's actually why I bought my first set, because I was going to try and get into all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I have that, and I also have a pair of the parallettes that we call it, that almost look like massive push-up handles. But you can get both styles, and they're both very very useful in my opinion. I use them both all the time.
Parallettes are the lower one, like they're lower to the ground, and then dip bars are higher, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like if you're going to do, if you're really interested in the calisthenic stuff, you could, it's a little safer on the parallettes sometimes because you're closer to the ground. So if you fall, you're not falling from up on the dip stand. So, and then, like I said, it has the added bonus of they're kind of like push-up handles. So you can still use them for other stuff.
Okay.
But the ones I have are from the different company, but they function the exact same way. Yeah. And I like them a lot too. I think they're a really useful piece of equipment.
Nice. Well, thank you. Thought you'd like that choice. Kicking it over to you. What's up number 1 for what you'd like to tell people about?
So I don't really have a massive change to my workout ways. Yeah. So I've had the same gym going on. I haven't really added a lot of equipment to it. But I figured I would just kind of give some good ideas for people that might be in the, they're looking to buy something. If, maybe you're looking to buy your spouse something and they don't have a gym yet, or they're trying to add to it. So I've got a belt squat attachment on here. This is actually something I don't have, and I was actually going to wait for Black Friday to buy it. I didn't pull the trigger, but they're still honestly I think they're on the same sale.
A lot of things seem to be, it seems like as time goes on, the Black Friday sale
is not much.
Gets more and more extended, but less and less compelling.
And I've seen a lot too, where they're just taking a massive inflated price and slashing it and acting like it's Black Friday, but it was the same sale that was going on 3 weeks ago. So I don't really know what's up with that, honestly. But anyway, there's some videos on these attachments from Coop at Garage Gym Reviews. And that's what really got me interested in them. But they're basically, there's one called the Mammoth Belt Squat by Fringe Sport. It looks like right now it's about $250. And there's the Revolt, a company called Revolt Belt Squat. It's like a $199, but the Mammoth one comes with a kickstand, which to just tell you what the belt squat is, it's basically like a lever arm that you attach to your squat rack, and it's supposed to be universal fit. They've got little pieces in there where you can make it wider or skinnier depending on how thick the bars are on your squat rack. And then you basically hook it up to it, and then you use a belt attachment for a belt squat, and you load that lever arm, and it basically like takes the load off your spine for squats. Oh, mostly. So it's kind of like wrapped around the lower part of your body.
Interesting.
Squat.
Okay.
So I've been very interested in them because I've had some back trouble most of my life. Cool.
Yeah. You talked a lot about it on the show. If you're new, you've had many an episode to talk about.
Yeah.
How to deal with work related injuries and that sort of thing.
Yes. So I'm very interested in it, and if I buy one, I will obviously talk about it on here. And I mean, like I said, I was really. Me and my wife were talking about, we were pretty much set on buying one. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I did notice Coop talks about the kickstand being really important. He actually said in his video he liked it, but he was like, you're going to need to create something like use a 2x4 or something to make a kickstand because it's almost impossible to get off the ground if you load it up with a lot of weight. So then these people came along and put a kickstand on it. Nice. They actually listened to what he said. He said he liked both brands. There's actually a decent video on both of them. So he's used both of them. And I think he liked them both. The Mammoth one, I believe, has more room for movement. Like it actually you can make it longer. The other one's like a set size. It is what it is. This one you can actually extend out. So it takes away, like when you're doing the belt squat. So because it's like a lever arm, it's not as, you're losing some of that weight in the lever. Like it's not like a normal squat. So the longer it is, the less loss you're seeing there. It's actually, you can get a little bit better feel out of the squat that way, is what they're saying. I have not used it yet, but I wanted to talk about it because I'm very interested.
Yeah,
in it
that's cool. I've got one of those on my list too. So, well, all right. Belt squat.
The first one.
Very cool. I'll jump back in. So the next thing on my list is an adjustable kettlebell. The reason I like this, real kettlebells are better, 100%. But if you want different sets of weights, they just take up a lot of space in your area. So my current home gym, like I said, it's basically a corner in my home office, and my home office is just a spare bedroom that we have. So the what I put on here is the Titan Fitness 40-pound adjustable kettlebell, which is the larger size that they offer. Currently sells for $99.99. Although I do think on Black Friday they were going for a little less than that. I figured I'd mention the non-sale price because if you listen to this later on, I don't want you to be disappointed. But that compared to the price of like it covers weights all the way from like 5 pounds up to 40. I mean, if you bought that many kettlebells, you'd be in for like several $100, and it would take up a lot of room wherever you have it. I guess they make like storage racks, kind of like they do for dumbbells, but either way, it's just more space. So it just depends on your life. And in my case, because I don't have a dedicated like home gym area and I'm just using part of another room, I love the fact that it only takes up the space of literally one kettlebell, and I can adjust it on the fly. And I've had great service out of it. That's another one I think you gave me. It was a Christmas list item from probably 3-4 years ago, and I've not had a single failure again. They look different now. They're black now, and mine was kind of like 90s looking. So I like the new ones look a lot more like stealthy, but it looks like the same exact mechanism and everything. So I can wholeheartedly recommend that product. I know that Rogue Fitness also makes one that looks a little bit more, how do I say it? Actually, I don't even know if Rogue makes it. Maybe Power Blocks makes one. I've seen another adjustable kettlebell that looks different. I've not used it, so I can't say anything about it, but I would imagine that it's also a good product. But this is one I've used. Really like it. I currently use it in the circuit that I mentioned earlier for doing kettlebell swings. I'll do either 2-arm with all the weight, or sometimes I'll do 1-arm. And I can do it with 40 pounds, but depending on how many sets and reps I'm going to do, I have to adjust that. But, that's good. I think the only thing that's maybe bad about it is if you wanted like a really heavy kettlebell, it doesn't go any higher than 40. Yeah. But you could get, presumably, one of these or 2 of them if you wanted to have, like, if you want to be able to do 2, like, sure, 2-armed things. And then you could get like one, like 70-pound kettlebell or something like that, or 80, whatever. Whatever. I can't remember the way they're all rated, but that would give you like a big heavy one if you want to be able to do some heavier movements. So
the only negative I can really think of for them is if you're going to do a lot of different like ballistic movements, like anything you're going to swing like overhead, like a snatch.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a lot of like kind of violently throwing things over your head, I've not used it much. I've messed around with yours a little bit.
It's a little loose.
Yeah, it's a little loose. And I'm not going to say you might not get hit in the top of the head with something if you do it the wrong way. So if
it works well for swings,
if it were me and you mainly only do kettlebell swings, I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
Or if you're going to do some other little like maybe a goblet squat or something like that, that's fine. Something where you're pretty stationary with it. And like a kettlebell swing, you're kind of swinging it away from you, so at least just don't aim it at a person, and you're going to be fine. But if you are, I would be a little cautious maybe doing some of that stuff, but you don't really do that kind of thing because it's hard on your shoulder and stuff. So I think it's great for swings and things like that.
All right, you try up next. Keep it going.
So next, I put the Rogue flat bench. I'm looking on their website, and it doesn't look like they even make the one I have anymore. But anyway, the one they have that I'm seeing is like about $200. The reason I'm saying flat bench is just because that's my personal favorite. Anytime if I can use my flat bench, that's what I'm going to use. And the reason being is that it just doesn't move. It feels so much more secure and safe if you're going heavy. Any of the adjustable benches, I haven't had a lot of problems, but honestly, like even this year, my wife was doing an incline bench, and I don't know what happened, but the top started going down, and it actually went down with the weight in her arms, and scared the mess out of her. Thankfully, she was able to not get like injured, we did have the safety bars on the squat rack. But after that, it just makes me, I don't really do a whole lot of heavy stuff on the adjustable bench, and I have a pretty decent one. It just doesn't feel as secure. Things kind of pop and crack on the thing when you move around with a lot of weight. And if you're doing like dumbbells, you kind of sling them up or whatever, you're moving in weird ways. And I just feel like it is, you see things, you see videos of the benches giving way. The flat bench is pretty much not going anywhere. It's like all welded together as one piece. The reason I said Rogue and not Titan makes one, could be great. I don't know. I've not used it. Like what you said earlier about for yourself, my kind of theory with what I'm going to spend more money on is the things that are going to get like massive amounts of weight put on them, or like heavy abuse. So for example, I have 2 squat racks in the gym. They're both made by Rogue. I have 2 full like Olympic barbells. They're both made by Rogue, just because I know that's like, they're going to take their time making sure it's balanced properly, weighted properly. It's going to hold up to heavy weight on it. But then, I have some accessory bars and things like that. I'm even going to talk about them that are made by other people. That doesn't bother me at all. Dip bars, things like that are great. I think it's a great time to go to somebody like Titan. But in my opinion, I've never had an issue with the Rogue flat bench. It's held up for years, and we've had that thing for probably over a decade, I'm sure.
Yeah.
And just honestly, it doesn't even look really used.
Yeah.
It looks
it's held up really, really well.
Nothing's chipped off the paint.
A lot of sweat.
Yeah. Nothing. The bench, all you can see is a little like head stain where people's heads have been there, but that's it. So I think it's a great piece of equipment.
Very nice. Up next for me this is one of those where I don't actually currently own it, but it's on my list of desires. And that is, again, it's another Titan product, is the Red Outdoor Power Tower. When I think about my current circuit of being sort of indoor bound and trying to fit things in a really short amount of time in the middle of the day. The one thing that I think will be really beneficial for me that I can't currently do is a good pull-up. My pull-up skills have completely left the building. So I've been looking for a way to reincorporate that. I thought about building my own thing. Our grandfather has an awesome little tower that he built with literally just 2 6x6 posts and a giant steel rod that's been there for 20 years. And I thought about doing a similar thing. But I do like this product. It's a little pricey, $369. But it looks very it's robust. It's painted. It's coated with an outdoor rated paint, or what it might even be a rubbery kind of almost like a playground set material. And I like the fact that it's got multiple points to do different exercises. So you can do push-ups off of it on the bottom in the same way that I use the parallel bars. Yeah, where you get an angled push-up. You can do, I think, inverted rows on it. You can it's got all these contact points that look helpful, and I think it also has dip bars too. So a power tower to me is I think a really cool if you're into a calisthenic thing and trying to get those leg raises or pull-ups, dips. I think that's a nice piece of equipment to have. And I just thought this one was really cool that it was outdoor because we don't have any room left in the house. And I got permission from my wife to put it outside. So I thought, that would be a cool thing. So that's on my list. As soon as I can afford it, I'm probably going to pull the trigger on that. Because again, even if I'm coming to your place to work out, I'd love to just be able to every day go out there for 10 minutes and do pull-ups. That would just be really beneficial. So that's on my list.
Nice. Back to me.
Yep.
So I put the safety bar in particular. The one that I own is Titan Fitness. So the safety squat bar is what I'm talking about. The pricing is it's around. It looks like it's around $250, and they have another nicer one that looks like it's about $400 from Titan. That's not the one I have unless they've jacked the price way up. Everything's kind of changed. I've had my stuff for a few years and it looks like they've just completely rehauled everything. So I looking at it, honestly, mine weighs the same as the more expensive one, but I know mine didn't cost that much. So maybe they jacked the price up. I have no idea.
Okay.
But anyway, it's a safety squat bar. It's we've talked about it before. It's got a big pad on it and these handles that kind of come down. So it's easier on your shoulders. The squat feels way different. It kind of front loads the squat more on your quads.
Yes.
So if you've never done it before, it's a lot harder. You won't be able to do as much weight as you would on a normal squat. I have not used it in a while currently, but I've used it a lot. I've incorporated in a lot of different programs I've done. And I do really like the piece of equipment. It's a nice bar. It's kind of it's a unique bar where it's just you get a very different feel out of it than your normal barbell. And I think it's very beneficial. So I like it a lot. And I did actually see one of our family members sent me a video of himself doing a bench press with the bar, it's kind of like a bench press down into a skull crusher. So there is other uses for it. I've never done it before, but it's almost like the arms come down and hit your stomach. And you kind of fold it back. It almost makes a little lever off of your body and you kind of bend it back towards your face like a skull crusher and then bring it up and bench press again. I can't remember where he said he saw that. I think maybe Dave Tate actually is where he said he saw that. But kind of a unique exercise. I don't know what the actual name of it is. And I haven't tried that yet, but it's kind of cool. Just, another reason another thing you could try with that bar. But yeah, I really like that one a lot. Not a whole lot to say about it other than just it's a good bar and I've enjoyed having it.
It looks cool. It's chrome too.
Yeah.
It's shiny.
Yeah.
It's the shiny bar.
Up next for me, man, I was reluctant on this one. I got to give Steven and his wife Gracie props for just hounding me for months and months to buy an Apple Watch. So this only pertains to people who are Apple users. Unfortunately, this is coming from an IT guy. There just is not the Android wearable, I guess they call them. I kind of hate that word, but the Android smartwatch world is just not the same. It is not the same product. The Apple Watch for better or worse, is far superior in terms of its integration with the phone than any of the Android watches, to my understanding. And that's me having discussions with my Android buddies and just kind of being around the industry. But I imagine that an Android smartwatch would still get you, let's call it 70% of the way there to where this has been. But specifically for the fitness application, I won't get into all the other stuff about the Apple Watch. If you want to hear about that, hop on our Discord and let us know, and I'm happy to talk more about it. But in terms of the fitness application, I really like the fact that it tracks your like sort of general movement level throughout the day. The closing the rings thing, I always thought that was sort of like arbitrary, but I have to say it has been kind of motivating. Like I'll look at it throughout the day and be like, man, I need to like get off my rear and like do something. Mm-hmm. And so that alone has been helpful. I imagine there's other fitness trackers like the Garmin or the Sony or whatever that would do similar things, but some kind of accountability thing that is on you, I think is helpful.
Yeah, for sure.
And it plays into kind of my next one, which is real. I'll go ahead and talk about it because it's really both of us. We're going to talk about this, which is it's actually an app subscription. So we've talked before about the StrongLifts program, and we've talked about the StrongLifts app that goes along with it. I don't know how much we talked about StrongLifts Pro, which is the subscription that they offer. They have a lifetime subscription. It sells typically for $99.99. It's actually on sale right now, again, for Black Friday. But by the time this comes out, who knows if that'll be the case. But I think we've both bought that at this point. I know I have.
Yeah, I have the Lifetime Family program.
Oh, family one. Okay, yeah. I didn't know they had that. So why would you do that? It's $100. It's an app. People don't normally pay $100 for an app. Here's what I'll say about it. It's very well developed. It's very customizable. It works great, generally speaking. Occasionally, it sort of glitches out. It's very well integrated with Apple Watch, which is actually one of the things you had kind of sold me on. Is like once you start a workout on the app on your phone, you can kind of just put your phone down and like just swipe on your watch and like manage your sets that way, and your rest time and your warm-ups and all that. It's right there on your watch. And that has actually been like surprisingly helpful. And the biggest thing that I found is that it keeps you moving. The rest time counter, it gives you sort of 3 minutes in between sets, and then it will like literally vibrate on your arm when it's time for the next one. Even when I'm working out with you and we're just kind of broing down, talking in between sets, like it's really nice to have some little like gentle reminder that's like, hey, it's time to go on the next one. Yeah. It just keeps the workout moving forward. I would say it does the same thing when I'm alone in my house doing my circuit. Like it's easy for me to get distracted because I'm in my home office, and often I'm doing it in the middle of the workday. So I might see an email come in or whatever, and then I feel that vibration. I'm like, oh man, I gotta get up and do another set. So that I would say that it is well worth it. The Pro subscription gets you the ability to customize your own, which I have done. I've built my own circuit in there. Works great. I might have a little bit of feedback for the developers, but generally speaking, I think they did a really nice job with it. It also it saves your history in there, which is cool because you can look back and see like where you're at. And I think the other thing the Pro subscription gets you is the warm-up feature, which we use like crazy. I saw a lot of people online sort of complaining about it, but I love it. Honestly, I have no complaints about it at all. I think people get a little bit too up in arms about calculating their warm-ups and all that.
Yeah, I'm sure that's
just do the lifts, dude.
Yeah, and I mean, I've actually so recently I created a new program in it. So I'm just doing my own program, but using that, and I was able to even like he's got a huge list of exercises on there with videos and everything. But if you don't see the exercise you want to do, you like, for example, you could do like, say a kettlebell swing. I don't think that was in there.
Yeah, I added that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So you can create your own and then just put your own weight in there, and then it'll still function just the same. It doesn't like confuse the app or anything. You're just not going to get a video with that, obviously, but you can change, the reps, if you want to do a pyramid style. So, if you want to start like light to heavy, back to light, if you want to do a ramp up where you start lighter and just get heavier and heavier and heavier by the end of the set, you can tell how many sets you want it to ramp up. You can do straight sets. There's a lot of built-in stuff, and it'll just do it for you, and then it'll tell you your weight. So, if you're doing dumbbells, it might be 3 sets of 8 at 55 pounds. But then if you're doing barbells, you might, let's say you're squatting 315 pounds. Well, it'll even tell you what plates go on the side of your barbell. So it'll say, 3x45.
I love that about it.
And you can even swipe on your watch and it'll just show you like little images of
like
the
a
plates.
diagram. Yeah.
So if it's like 2 45s, a 25, a 10, and a 5, it'll just put that on there for you. And then it'll say like X amount of pounds that side, like
and
per side.
Don't you like build your own library of you tell it what weights you have access to?
Yeah, you can do that too.
Like you say, we've got 4 5s and we've got 6 1-pounders, we've got 4 45s. And so it uses the math that you give it to calculate. It will accurately calculate what you need to put on the board based on what you actually have access to, which I think is a really nice touch. Be hard to do. If you're in a commercial gym, that would be maybe, you don't always know what you're going to get per se.
Sure, yeah.
But especially in your home gym, like.
And it may just like default to like most
like
of the
a standard,
things.
Yeah, I'm sure it does.
Yeah. But it's really, it's an awesome app. I mean, I look at it, you're kind of just helping pay the guy that does the whole website. I mean, he'll send you emails about new information on like workout programs or workout, hypertrophy, strength, nutrition, whatever. You'll get like a weekly email from him. So I feel like he puts a lot of work into it. So I think it's just
they really do update it a lot. I've seen get updates for it a lot. So I'm with you. I feel like it's less about $100 for an app. What are you talking about? It's more about just like, if you think of in the grand scheme about what,
well, I look at
things you pay for in your life.
It's not if you have a home gym, you're not buying a gym membership.
Yeah.
It's a one-time fee. I mean, you can pay a subscription base, but I did the one-time fee where it's just over with. So now I just own it and the family plan, it's like up to 4 or 5 people on it.
Let me clarify. I think the pricing it's something like $30 or $40 a year if you subscribe, or if you do the sort of unlimited one-time payment that we did, you just pay the $100.
Yeah, and then the family plan's a little more. I can't remember what it was.
You just have access to it forever at that point. Yeah. So anyway, big fans of that. Would like to meet that guy sometime. I think he's in like Belgium or something, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
I think so.
But yeah, he puts a lot of work into it.
Hey,
so
man.
it's cool.
You guys make good beer also. Anyway, all right, last ones. They're kind of two in the same on your list. I'll let you kick that one off. Although I have them. I stole them from you right now. So
you did, yeah. So we've talked about them before, but for a home gym, I think if you're just starting out and you want some dumbbells, I think the Power Blocks are by far my favorite. Just small space, adjustable dumbbell that you can get your hands on. Once again, we've had them for, we probably had those like 15 years or something. The way time goes. I mean, honestly, I think it's been about that long. So I'm sure, like I was looking at their website, honestly, I don't even see the ones that we have.
They don't make them anymore, yeah.
Well, I see ones that look very similar.
Or something like that.
Some really weird name that ours had, but I see some that are very similar. Ours, I know we bought the the biggest one they had at the place that we were at. So that we went up to 90 or 95 pounds per dumbbell, all the way from 5 pounds all the way up to that. And then we actually bought the extension that I think they go to like 125 or 127 or something.
That's right. Yeah.
Kind of a weird number, but, honestly, if you're just an average fitness enthusiast, that's plenty of weight in my opinion. I don't think you're going to really need much heavier dumbbell for anything you're going to do with a dumbbell. But the thing that we do not have that I put on my list is the Power Block barbell attachment. So it's like you basically can turn the dumbbells into barbells on the end. I don't know that I could even use it with our current Power Blocks. It probably doesn't even fit the ones
I'm not
that we
sure.
had.
Yeah, we'd have to look at that.
But it does look like they have a few different types. And you can look on the website. It doesn't look like they're crazy expensive. I mean, they're like maybe $100 some bucks or something.
Yeah. The bar, you mean?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, maybe the Power Blocks themselves. I can't remember what the bar is not. I don't think it's insane. I don't think it's a crazy price.
Power Blocks are more than that. They're pretty. They're not inexpensive.
Yeah. They start getting up there.
They're very well made, but not inexpensive.
Yeah, I want to say our set was like $800 or something. Probably.
Yeah.
It was. They're not.
But again, it's like I was talking about with the adjustable kettlebell. Like if you bought that many dumbbells plus a rack to put them on, you're in for way more money than that.
Oh yeah. Well,
So-
it's like I said. I mean, they've lasted
Yeah.
however many years. I mean, it's if you take care of them, I honestly think they'll last a lifetime. Like I don't think you're
Yeah.
gonna you're not gonna create unless you start dropping them or throwing them, you're not gonna have a problem keeping them.
Yeah.
But I do think they are a great product. I think that they really, for a home gym, I think they're awesome. Like I said earlier, I said we might have some things that if you have a commercial gym you go to, you may have some things you want to keep at your house. I think these are one of those that's, if you're like me, you're a blue collar guy, and you go to the gym a lot, maybe you're busy, you got like long days ahead of you, or you are working out of town or whatever it is. These are something you could literally bring with you. I mean, you could like throw them in your truck and bring them to the hotel. They don't take up a lot of space at all. You don't even have to bring the stand. You can just bring the 2 dumbbells. I mean, you can
I
just
like that about
separate them.
You used to take them on vacation.
Yeah, I took them every year on vacation.
Yeah.
I even had a bench that I could fold up flat, like an adjustable bench, and then I had those, and I would just bring them with me. So I love it for that reason. And I mean, like I said, you're literally bringing 2 pretty massive dumbbells with you that can go from whatever weight you want. And honestly, an added benefit of those, I would say, when I very first got into swings, like kettlebell swings, it was with those because we didn't have kettlebells. They're shaped weird. Like if you look them up, they're literally like blocks. That's kind of where they get the name. But they kind of have these round little handles in there, at least the ones we have, that you can kind of grab and kind of swing anyway. I'm not going to say that some kettlebell guy wouldn't crawl all over me for saying that, but they definitely worked. I mean, it was fine for what I needed it for at the time. But again, like I said, that I think they're a very premium product. I know there's been a lot of new companies since I bought those that have come out. But I'm not like in the market to buy another set just to have another set to try. Yeah. But for what they are, we have put them through the use. We've had multiple people working out with them. We've taken them on trips and everything, and they're still in great shape. So
yeah. And I'll also add, you can buy parts for them too.
Yeah.
And I did that recently. So we sort of resurrected them because they weren't really getting use at your house, because you now have a full set of actual dumbbells. So I was like, hey, why don't I just bring them to my place and add them to the corner that I was talking about? And we were a little bit concerned that there's a plastic like selector that you use to block off the amount of weight you're going to use. And because they had been in a basement for many years.
One of them did snap a little bit.
Did the end of it snap?
Yeah,
maybe it did. Yeah. So we were like, shouldn't use these. And we were like, let's see if we can get replacements. I think they were like $15 or $20. I went on their website. I was able to get the exact part for that. And I was really impressed by that. In today's day and age, so much stuff is just disposable and like you can't repair it. I was really concerned about that actually. And so I was, especially given that it's a discontinued model that we have, I was very happy to see that they still provided that would be the most concerning part. It's plastic and it's a selector. Right. So you're using it constantly. And the fact that they sort of took that into account and made a replacement, I thought was really, really awesome. Yeah. It's kind of like when you see headphone brands and they make ear cups to replace. It's like, that's the part that's going to get worn out.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's nice to see that. So that rounds out our list for 2024. Thank you for sticking around to the end here. If you're still with us, how about I give you the spiel? The spiel is this. Number one, as Stephen mentioned earlier, the two of us put a song out. We have a band called Token Sacrifice. You can look us up wherever you get music. We recommend the typical places, Spotify, Apple Music, whatever you like to use. Tidal, I hear good things about. And we have a new song. It's called In Memoriam. If you haven't listened to it yet, we'd really appreciate you checking that out. If it's easier, you can go to music.workingmansweightlifting.com and you'll get a link that will take you to whichever streaming service you prefer to go to. But you can always just, look us up, El Manuel. And that song means a whole lot to us. It takes you in a lot of different places. This probably goes across 3 different genres, a little hard rock, a little heavy metal, a little acoustic in the middle. Kind of in the progressive modern rock. If you're a fan of Carnival or Catatonia or Opeth or any bands like that, hopefully you'll enjoy this. No screaming on this. It's all singing vocals. Both of us sing harmonies. But yeah, that's something we're still really excited about. Came out a little over 2 weeks ago now, and we are really proud of that. Other than that, if you want to connect with us, we do have a Discord server that is not exactly active because we took such a long break, but we're still there. So you can go to discord.workingmansweightlifting.com if you want to join that. Head in there, start a conversation. We will jump right on that. You can also send us an email. If you go to our website, we got a form there. We're happy to respond to that. Our website is workingmansweightlifting.com. We have a lot of other stuff. I'm sure I'm forgetting to mention. Maybe the last thing I'll say is it's always really helpful and great to get reviews. So whatever podcasting app you use, especially if it's Apple Music, I think Spotify now does reviews. That is super, super helpful. It helps us show up in rankings. And so if you like what you hear, or if you don't like what you hear, you know what they say, all press is good press, right?
There you go.
Please leave us a review on your podcasting app. We would really, really appreciate that. Until next time, I've been Nick.
I've been Steven.
We've been the working men who lift weights and talk about it on the show, and we will catch you next time.